Okay. In the previous lectures, in the last lectures, we discussed about component of the buildings, those kind of things we discussed. Today, we are going to discuss about some wall types in our buildings. Right? This is related to the wall types. In the construction industry, you can see there are different type of walls. Sometimes with the finish, sometimes with the purpose. Mainly, we can divide wall types requirement, not only with the appearance. Right? So I'm in here. I'm not discussing about the that material that you're going to use for the wall type. Actually, this wall type is depend on the requirement. ඔයා මොකටද මේ wall එක use කරන්න කියන requirement එක මත තමයි wall types අපිට divide කරන්න පුළුවන්. The first one is the load bearing walls. Second one, non load bearing walls. All right. And cavity walls, partition walls. Those are the wall types, wall constructing types, right? Here, the load bearing wall. Can you remember I told you the load transferring structure? First, all the load is coming to the slab, slab transferring it load to the beam transferring it load to the columns transferring it load to the foundation, right? And that was the load transferring mechanism. In some cases, in sometimes there are some walls, those walls also support into this mechanism, right? For the that's been the load bearing structure, supporting to the load bearing structure. It's like something like it's working like a now you know the columns are supporting to share the load. No? The same thing. Some walls also there, those are supporting to share the walls, share the load. Those kind of walls we can do as load bearing walls. Alright. So now normally load bearing walls we are not constructing as with the same building materials. Alright. If you have any working experience in the construction industry, sometimes with apartment buildings, right, or any multi-story building, right, multi-story building, work or if you have any experience, if you have visited any site like that at the concrete walling finish කරන concrete walls කියලා කියනවා. Now commonly we know about brick walls, block walls. අපි ගෙවල් හදන්නේ ඒ විදිහටනේ. Not like in the buildings. Some walls we are constructing totally from the concrete. Right? Those kind of walls those are the load bearing walls. So not only the concrete, right? Different kind of materials we can use. අර හොඳටම මතක ඔයාලා site visit එකක් කරලා තියෙනවා නම් අර තනිකර concrete වලින්ම බිම ඉඳන් උඩටම concrete. Right? Slab එකේ ඉඳන් ඊළඟ slab එකේ top එක bottom එක වෙනකම්ම concrete වලින් කරන walls තියෙනවා. Those are the load bearing walls, right? So these load bearing walls are carrying load imposed from the beams and the slab above, including its own weight, and transfer it to the foundation. These walls support structure members such as beams, slabs, and walls on above floors. Those are the same thing what we have discussed. Normally, there are precast concrete walls, right? So what is the meaning of the precast? I think I have mentioned this word about the precast. Precast means imagine I will give you one example. Sometimes, imagine for the concrete requirements, take into mind like this. That if your required element, we can construct in a different place, different location, right? At the time, if you need that element, we can transfer it to your site. අපි ආව හදන්නේ වෙනම තැනක වෙනම location එකක. ඔයාට ඒක ඕනේ වුණාම අපි ඒක ඔයාගේ site එකට transfer කරනවා, transport කරනවා. For an example, imagine in Sri Lanka actually I think I mentioned this name previously also very first 2 weeks I think I shared modern construction videos for the modern construction industry, right? Nowadays people can construct multi-story building within very limited hours, right? It's not taking very long period for the construction work. How it's happening? They are using very modern technology. Commonly they are using precast concrete technology. That's mean all the elements, walls, slabs, columns, beams, everything we are constructing in a different place. Right? And one day we are transporting all those elements into the site. After that, what we are doing? We are doing only a fixing work. Elements ටික, slab ටික, beams ටික, columns ටික ඔක්කොම ටික වෙනම තැනක තමයි හදන්නේ. හදලා ඉවර වෙලා ඒක අරන් යනවා site එකට. Site එක අරන් ගිහලා කරන්නේ fixing part එකක් විතරයි. Nut bolt දාලා fix කරනවා. Just like a building box fixing work. Right? So that's the precast concrete, right? Imagine another example like this. Imagine I want to concrete a slab. My slab with a concrete කරන්න. What I'm doing is, first of all, normally generally what we are doing is we have to measure the concrete requirement, right? After that, I have to decide what is the concreting type I'm going to use. Can you remember I discussed those in the last week? But I'm going to use hand mixing, machine mixing over the ready mix concrete, right? So imagine I'm going to use the ready mix concrete. So first I measure the slab and calculated the concrete requirement. Imagine the concrete requirement was 30 cubic meters. I'm taking a call to the concrete plant, and I'm informing about my concrete requirement and the required time and the date. Right? I'm telling you I need 30 cubic meters of concrete on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Right? On that time, they transport in they should transport the concrete into the site. After that, we have to use a vibrator का use करें concrete का आसन place करेगा no. After that, you have to keep that concrete for a long time period for the fixing work. This is a general thing what we are doing in Sri Lanka. Imagine if you want to use the precast technology, right? Now what you are doing is you are not waiting until the last moment. The head concrete එක ඕන, head slab එක ඕන නම් අද කියලා බෑ. You have to plan it very previously. ඔයගේ slab එකේ හරි sizes, length, width and everything, the thickness of the slab, everything you are submitting to another company. This is my requirement. I need this kind of slab. These are the sizes. Everything you have to inform to that another company. What they are doing is they construct in your slab in their place, not in your site. After you complete your beams, all the construction, everything, they should transport it to the site. Right? ඒක transport කරලා එවලම fix කරනවා. Form work ගහන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Concrete රීබලන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ slab එක fix වෙන්න කියලා time තියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. දව මාස ගානක් මාසයක් විතර තියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Curing කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. What do you mean by the curing? අපි slab එකක් දැම්මම වතුර දාන්න ඕනේ. Right? අපි slab එකට වතුර දාන්න ඕනේ. The requirement, because concrete should absorb the water enough. Right? එතකොට curing හරියට කරේ නැත්නම් තමයි sprinklers එන්නේ. In my last PowerPoint presentation, wall should bear a lot big load. Right? උඩට යනකොට අපි wall thickness එක අඩු කරනවා. පහළදී wall thicknesses are, you should increase the wall thickness based on the building height. Non-load bearing walls. These non-load bearing walls is different than the load bearing walls. The main difference between these two means load bearing wall කොහොම යා load එක transfer කරන්න උදව් වෙනවා. Building load එක යා bear කරගෙන ඉන්නවා. But these non-load bearing walls are not giving any support to transport the load onto the foundation. It's not giving you any support to bear the load. Right? That's the main difference between load bearing walls and the non-load bearing walls. Commonly, we are constructing the type of load bearing walls is hollow concrete blocks, face bricks, hollow bricks, brick walls. Likewise, different kind of other material. We can use different kind of materials for the non-load bearing walls also. Right. This is the another wall type. It's for the cavity walls. In this cavity walls, actually we are not constructing this cavity wall commonly in Sri Lanka, but but in our area, right? In some houses of rural area also people are constructing this cavity wall, but especially in UK and other countries, people are constructing this wall type because it's supporting you to maintain the temperature inside of in your building, right? Costly, it's very high. So how we are constructing this one is, you first of all you have to construct first wall. පළවෙනි wall එක construct කරන්න ඕනේ. Look like this. After that, you have to keep a small void area, gap. You have to keep a gap and you have to construct another second wall. This is the first wall. This is the second wall. Right? In between these two walls, there is a gap. In some cases, we are filling this one with some different materials. Rigiform වගේ එකේ දාලා void එක fill කරන වෙලාවක් තියෙනවා. Right? Anyhow, this wall people are in other countries, people are commonly using this wall type. However, it is a little bit costly high. The reason is you have to construct two walls. එකක් construct කරනවා වගේ නෙමෙයි දෙකක් construct කරන්න ඕනේ. That's the reason why it's affecting to the cost. Right? But the requirement. Next one is the partition walls. It's not a very new thing. Partition wall means very commonly you can see about the partition walls, right? In the commercial buildings, especially. In some times nowadays, people are using these partition walls for for the houses also, right? ඉස්සර වගේ partition නෙමෙයි දැන් තියෙන well developed partition walls are available. Soundproof partition are there, waterproof partition walls are there, right? But anyhow, the partition walls also not supporting to bear the load, right? In your very common places, commercial places, office wall, the university also, you can see these partition walls, right? The main important thing is it's not supporting you to transfer the load, right? We are using this partition wall only for the room separate as a separator. Imagine now you have a land, you have a building, commercial building, right? අපි commercial building එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ගොඩක් කරන්නේ rent out කරන එකනේ. Then imagine you have a building. Imagine now what we are doing is මොකක් හරි building එකක් construct කරන එක commercial purpose rent out කරන්න නම් idea එක. We are constructing the external walls. We external walls construct කරනවා. We are not constructing any separations. Separate කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Because imagine in the first 2 years you rent out this building for a bank. Right? After the second year, again you can rent this building for another company for office purpose. එතකොට මේ බිල්ඩින් එක සෙපරේට් කරන්න ඕන විදි වෙනස්. ඒක නිසා තමයි අපි permanent structure, permanent materials use කරලා building separates කරන්නේ නැහැ. That's the reason why we are going with the partition walls. අපි temporary wall separations use කරනවා. ඕන නැති වුණාම අපිට මේක ගලවලා අයින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? However, it's not supporting you to transfer the load. That's another thing. It's a very important thing. It's not supporting you to transfer the load. Right? Right. Give me 1 second. I will show you about one. For the cavity walls. Give me 1 second, I'll show you.
Hey guys, hope you all are fine. Today our topic is what is cavity wall and its advantages and
Yeah,
disadvantages.
this is the cavity
Some
wall,
move
right?
towards-
This is the first wall, and this is the second wall, and this is the this is the gap between first wall and the second wall, right?
are today's topic. Cavity wall. A cavity wall is a wall that has a hollow space in between the walls. In other words,
Here you can
two
see
walls are
it right
separated
here.
by a cavity or hollow space. Cavity walls are made to drain out the water through weep holes at the bottom of the wall system. These weep holes serve to remove evaporated water from the hollow space between walls to the outside. A cavity wall with both inner and outer sides, made up of masonry, is referred to as a double with masonry wall. The two sides are the leaves of the wall. The inner wall of a cavity wall is called as internal leaf, and outer one is external leaf. Components of cavity walls. Outer wall. It is generally made up of brick and is on the outer side of the building. Inner wall. It is on the inner side of the building and can be made up of bricks, concrete blocks, reinforced concrete, metal ties. They are used to fasten the two walls together to make the cavity wall stronger. Metal ties are also known as bonding blocks. Water barrier. Water barrier is a thin membrane which keeps dampness away from the cavity between the walls. Metal flashing. The main purpose of using a flashing component is to create a path through the inner wall cavity and outer wall to drain out from the hollow space. Weep hole. A weep hole is a downward curve or a hole on the outer side of the wall that allows the water to drain out via flashing component. Expansion and control joints. They are installed to keep two walls together without being affected by temperature, vibration, or any other factor. Advantages. Cheaper than other solid walls. It doesn't let moisture affect inner side of the building. Insulation of cavity wall is better than conventional walls because the air present in the cavity reduces heat transfer from outside to the building. Insulation provided by air gap and slow-moving air films. They reduce the load on foundation. Thinner as compared to solid walls. It keeps out wind-driven rain. Construction cost of this wall is lesser than conventional walls. Efflorescence is avoided on outer walls. Disadvantages.
compared with
Extremely
the-
skilled labor
They are wall
and
height,
masons
not
needed to
with our
construct a
wall
wall.
height, right?
Maximum
That's the reason why it's telling us the benefits. That's a different thing. Right? Here you can see, I just wanted to show you about these cavity walls. You can see in this picture also, there is a gap between these two walls, right? Okay. I will show it again. Take the idea with the pictures, right?
A cavity wall in construction refers to a type of wall built with two separate layers or leaves of masonry or brickwork with a gap that is cavity between them. The two layers are typically made from brick or block, and the gap is usually filled with air, though it can sometimes be insulated for better thermal performance. Let us understand how a cavity wall works. Outer leaf. The outer layer of the wall, which is exposed to the weather, is typically made of brick or stone. Inner leaf. The inner layer is typically made of blocks or bricks, providing the structural support for the wall. Cavity. The space between the two leaves helps with better insulation, moisture control, and prevents rainwater from penetrating the inner leaf. Common material combinations in cavity walls. Brick plus concrete block. Bricks are often used for the outer leaf due to their durability and ability to withstand weather conditions. Concrete blocks are typically used for the inner leaf as they are more affordable and provide good structural strength. Brick plus brick. Bricks on the inner leaf provide additional structural support and strength. This combination is less common than brick and block, but it's still used in certain projects. Stone plus block. Natural stone is used for the outer leaf for a premium aesthetic finish, often found in historic
Madam,
or
අපිට
high-end
වීඩියෝ එකක්
projects.
Huh?
Concrete
වීඩියෝ එක පේන්නේ නැහැ මැඩම්.
කලින් පෙන්වෙන්නේ නැද්ද?
නෑ මැඩම්.
කියන්න එපා. What's the reason? අනිත් අය පෙන්වෙන්නේ නැද්ද?
පෙන්වනවද?
පෙන්වනද?
Yeah, we can see.
Check with your settings, maybe there's something from your side. Wait, I'll share it again.
panels or cast-in-place concrete can be used for the outer leaf in modern industrial designs, offering excellent weather resistance. Cladding plus block. For a more modern aesthetic approach, metal or timber cladding can be used as the outer leaf. This combination is often seen in commercial or industrial buildings. Insulation materials in the cavity. The cavity between the two leaves can be filled with insulation materials to reduce heat loss and improve energy efficiency. Common insulation materials include mineral wool. It offers excellent thermal insulation. Polystyrene, a cost-effective solution that provides good insulation. Polyurethane foam, it is known for its high insulation properties. Other benefits of cavity walls. Moisture protection. The cavity helps prevent water from reaching the inner wall. Water that enters the outer leaf will usually drain down the cavity and exit at the bottom. Soundproofing. The cavity can help reduce sound transmission between rooms or from the outside.
Right? The reason is the thickness is very high. No? Walls දෙකක් construct කරනවා කියන්නේ exactly very good thickness. ඒ වගේ මෙතන මොකක් හරි cavity එකක් තියෙනවා නම් sound proof මොකක් හරි එකකින් fill කරනවා හරි cavity එකත් එක්ක නිසා අර sound proofness දෙක වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන් මේ cavity wall type එකේ.
In modern construction, cavity walls are commonly used because of their energy efficiency, durability, and ability to protect buildings from moisture and temperature variations. So friends, see you in the next.
Right. That's enough. Right. Mama, make it a good priority today. Now you all are doing a UK degree and UK based things that you're going to learn. I can remember I also completed that my degree and my master's from the UK universities, right? Most of the time in their scenarios, in their exam papers also, sometimes they focus into the cavity walls, right? Now you all are going to do a project management. Sometimes I completed my area under the country service side, right? So anyway, that construction related examples ගන්නකොට construction related දේවල් වලට focus කරනකොට යාලගේ scenarios වල යාලා UK base එක touch කරනවා වැඩි, right? It's a very common general thing, right? So this cavity wall type also but not very commonly using in Sri Lanka, but in other countries it's very commonly using. Because of that, in your scenarios, in your exam papers in future, right, they will include some scenarios with the cavity wall types and their construction methods, right? මම කියන්නේ cavity wall එක විතරයි කියලා යාලගේ construction methods වලට prior දෙන scenarios තියෙන්න පුළුවන් in some cases, right? So because of that, this cavity wall type may be important for you in your future, right? After that, these are the wall type. I'll share the screen. Right. Next, I want to discuss with you about the plastering. What is this plastering? In Sinhala, අපි කියනවා කපරාදු කරනවා කියලා. Right. That's the plastering. Right. I'm very basic. I'm discussing about very basic thing because I think you all are not working in the industry. You don't have any experience from the industry. That's the reason why I'm discussing these things. අපි wall එක construct කරාට පස්සේ after you complete the wall construction works, you have to do the wall plastering works, right? We are doing this wall plastering due to different type of reasons. Wait, I'll share it. Right? Then නිකම්ම wall එක තිබ්බනම්, can you remember I told you now we are using different type of wall materials to construct the wall. Bricks are there, blocks are there, like us different materials use karna. Can you remember I told you walls material, the bricks, blocks, these kind of materials can absorb the water. Then all the ගෙවල් වල plaster the plastering means the කපරාදු, right? Plaster කරන්න නැතුව without any plaster raw material එක වගේ bricks, blocks stick බලන් කොයි වගේද? Imagine about your houses without any plastering with outside walls, right? Imagine your walls constructed with bricks. Definitely during the rainy time periods, right? Your bricks can absorb the water. කාලයක් යනකොට there can be අර කොළ පාට බැදෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right, because it's affecting to it's absorbing water, right? Water content එක වැඩි හැම වෙලේම. The same thing is it can appear to the inside of the house also, right? It's very difficult with that. It's not getting any attraction to the house. Not a beauty. The appearance is not good, right? Not only that, if it is happening in a very long period of time, it's affecting to the strength of the building also. හැමතිස්සෙම වතුර absorb කරගෙන ඉන්නවනම් දියසෙවල වගේ බැඳිලා තියෙනවනම් appearance එකට effect වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම කාලයක් තිස්සේ මේක යනකොට building strength එකට affect වෙනවා. After that period of time, your building can be collapsed, right? To avoid those type of things, what you can do is you can apply a plaster. අපි plaster කරොත් අපිට මේ හැමදේම avoid කරගන්න පුළුවන්. First thing, it's increasing the appearance of the building. දැන් නිකම්ම brick block එකක් තියනවා වගේ නෙමෙයි plaster කරලා තිබ්බම බිත්තිය ලස්සනයි. Right? It's a finishing type. The plastering is going under the finishing of work. Right now, I know we all are in the beginning of the project, beginning of your academic part. Normally, in a construction project, you have to refer after you enter with the industry, right? You can refer a document like BOQ. Right? Normally, it's a responsibility of a quantity surveyor, preparation of the BOQ, maintain the BOQ. That means it's a responsibility of a quantity surveyor. But as a project manager, also you should know about those things. Right? The BOQ, not only for the quantity surveyor, all the professions in the industry, of all the professions in the project, this document is very important, BOQ. Right? Normally in a BOQ, we are mentioning all the cost-related things. Step by step, everything is there. For the finishing, for the masonry work, so everything the cost you can mention, we can mention in the BOQ. Right? It's going to be plastering work and a cost BOQ mention. But it's going under the finishing work. Just that's what I wanted to tell you. Plastering and finishing work, right? Right. So it's affecting to the appearance, to maintain the building strength, to cover the defective workmanship in the masonry. Now, after completing your diploma, maybe the degree, you enter into the industry, right? Make the training, right? Hitanda, defective workmanship when we are constructing the walls, we are not constructing the walls with the levels. Walls at the level. If you are working with unexperienced laborers or the masons, it's happening. Not only that, it's some general things also. Due to different reasons, these type of things can be happen. With your level, it's not in a level. There are some issues. Sometimes, most of the time, we can understand. There are issues in the constructed walls. The wall, single in a wall like a level, wall like a that. Right? So what we can do at the wall like a theorem? No, you have to cover it. You in your final finish, wall construction again, in the wall construction, if there is an issue with the level, you can cover that issue in the finishing stage. You are nearest, we have to cover the finishing stage again. How you can cover this? Imagine, I'm not perfect in drawing, right? My last joke right? I'll try to show you. Imagine this is your wall, right? Imagine that, how you can tell you. Imagine that our wall, all are not in the same level. Level is not correct. The face, right? Imagine there are some this kind of but in the final finish, you have to take all these things into the same level. What you can do is the first thing, you can cover it from the plastering. Then you can I'm not share the screen. Sorry. Right. Here, imagine it looks like this. Right. It's very difficult to show you with the picture, right? The wall level I had to pay a විත්ති plaster කරලා සිමෙන්ති මොනවද paint කරලා නැත්තේ කිසිම බලක් මුකුත් පේන්නේ නැහැ විත්ති වල ඇදයක් පේන්නේ නැහැ. I'm telling when you are doing the masonry construction part, there may be some unlevel places in the walls, right? Now imagine this is the face of your wall, right? Inside of the wall, all the places should go with the same level in the face, right? In some cases, there may be small unlevel places in the wall. When you are doing the plastering, you can cover this issue, right? What we are doing is plaster කරනකොට අපි හදාගන්න paste එක තියෙන cement sand mixture එක තියෙන. For the plastering, we are using that cement sand mixture. That material, that mixture, we have to fill with this white, with this place. අපි මේ mixture එක මේ place එකේ fill කරනවා. And we can cover that issue. Normally, when we are doing the plastering, definitely you can cover defectives in workmanship in masonry. Normally, these kind of things are not generally happening. You can cover all these things from the plastering. That's why I'm telling plastering is going under the finishing work, right? To cover up unsound and the porous materials, to provide a suitable base for color wash paint, right? After completing the wall plastering part, what you're going to do, you have to start the painting. To start that, become a brick wall, like become a gallery, paint crown, what will happen? It's not very attractive. It's not a good appearance, right? After you apply your painting into the walls, after completing the plastering, what is the difference between the become the wall like a paint the garnish, plaster the wall like a paint the garnish, difference right? Become a bit paint the garnish, plaster after you complete the plastering and after you apply your painting, what will happen? It's a different appearance, right? It's a totally different in appearance, right? So that's why I'm telling you this plastering is the base for your final painting finish, right? Now I will show you how we can do the painting, right? Sorry, finish your plastering. දැකලා නැතුව ඇති සමහරක් පිට කොහොමද ගෙව plaster කරන්නේ කියලා. Now I'm show you how it's happening. Because as a project manager, as any profession in the industry, before taking a decision, you should know about the technical details. All right. After I complete my degree, small thing, right? I work in the industry during my degree time period. Before completing the degree, right? I work around 1 year of time period as a trainee. I work in the industry with insights, right? So in that period, I collected a lot of industry experiences, technical details. It's a very valuable thing, I think. Personally, I know. After completing my degree, I'm not going as a trainee. No. Directly, I'm joining as a quantity surveyor or assistant quantity surveyor. You all are going to be joined with as a profession into the industry. At that time, I can't learn about the technical details, how we should do the plastering. Industry right? At least try to watch these kind of videos, right? Then you can improve your knowledge, right? Okay. I don't know the language, but I'll share, right? Sorry. Give me 1 second, I'll share it again. Now look at this. This is a very cement block wall. Become a cement block wall. See how they are doing the plastering work, right? Now can you see? I tell you after that the reason for that was watch the video. This is the way how we are doing the plastering. I'll show you. Now, can you see at the beginning, they apply some water into the wall. Right? Can you see? Water means actually some cement water. Right? The reason is, then කෙලින්ම ගිහිල්ලා ප්ලාස්ටර් එකනේ apply කරන්නේ. Right? The one thing, ඒක a little bit difficult. The ප්ලාස්ටර් එකට කෙලින්ම බිත්තියට කියලා කෙලින් ප්ලාස්ටර් එකක් අලවන්න බෑ. Right? So if you can put some water into the wall, it's getting you a support. And another thing, the concrete also, concrete blocks can absorb some amount of water. Then ඔයාගේ mix කරපු එකේ mix කරනකොට cement දානවා, sand, you are adding the cement, sand, water, and you have to mix it well. When you're applying into the dry wall, right, this dry wall can absorb that you mixed water. ඔයා කෙලින්ම ගිහලා dry wall එකට මේක apply කරනකොට අර cement sand mix එකේ තිබ්බ water content එක මෙයාට absorb කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So what will happen then? එතකොට අර ඔයා කරපු mix එකේ තිබ්බ වතුර ටික wall එක absorb කරගත්තාම අර mix එක dry වෙනවා. You can't do that plastering in a good way. Right? හරියට ප්ලාස්ටික් කරන්න බෑ. මොකද ප්ලාස්ටර් කරන්න හදාගත්ත mix එකේ තිබ්බ වතුර ටික wall එක absorb කරගෙන. එතකොට mix එක dry වෙනවා. No enough water in the mixture. That's the reason for this. Right? After that, first of all, you have to apply that your mixture into the bowl like this. Right? මේ විදිහට දානවා wall එකේ. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි after that you can level it. Right? By using this kind of thing, you can level it. This is the way how we do it manually. This is the final finish. Right? Actually, for this, for plastering, it takes more time. You need labor cost. The labor involvement is very high. The mainly it's taking more time. Right? But in the current, now you know how it's basically happening. You have to apply, you have to, after that, you have to level it. Right? You have to finish it well. Likewise, it takes more time. And the labor requirement is very high. Right? Now, in the current world, right, people are using some different kind of new technologies for the plastering. It's look like a small machine. Right? I will show you how it's happening, right? In Sri Lanka also, we are not commonly using this. Give me 1 second. I have not saved that one. Different kind of machines and technologies are there. I will show you one or two, right? You saw it. Now look at this, check with this video. Now, by using this machine, මේ machine එක use කරලා තමයි යාලා wall එකට cement apply කරන්නේ. ඔයාලගේ mix එක apply කරන්නේ, right? Here, look at this, how they do the leveling work. I'll show you another one. Give me 1 second, right? Still not share that video. Different kind of machines are there, right? I'm not talking about the same machine. another thing then you can I think understand, right? In my very first video, what about the wastage? ලොකු wastage එකක් තිබ්බ නේද? කොච්චර බිම වැටිලා තිබ්බද? Right? By following this kind of technique, actually you can minimize the wastage. In the construction industry, wastage also very very important, right? And usage, you can limit the usage. හරියටම thickness එක දීලා තමයි plaster කරන්නේ, right? Wastage you can minimize. This kind of lot of benefits are there. You don't know, you need a lot of labors for this work. Very quick and very easy for the labors also. Right, these kind of videos are available, right? You can follow and you can study about those things. All right, okay. I'll take a small break. After that, we'll continue the discussion, right? Okay, we'll start the discussion. Right. So, in my last two videos, I shared the plastering, how we are doing the plastering in previously, and with the current development in the construction industry. Now we can do it with different kind of with some different machineries, with some different new technologies, right? There are some plastering types, right? Smooth cast finish, right? Pebble finish, rough finish, machine applied finish. Likewise, different kind of wall finishes are there. That's plastering finishing types. The smooth finish means now in your houses, inside of your houses, you can see the smooth finish, right? And outside of your house, you can see the rough finish most of the time, right? Likewise, the wall finishing types are there. Right. Another thing, the plastering we have to divide into two sections: internal plastering and the external plastering, right? If I link this discussion with the cost, I can say internal plastering cost are different with the external plastering cost. Plastering අපිට divide කරන්න පුළුවන් sections දෙකකට internal plastering වගේම external plastering කියලා. මේ internal or the external plastering වලට යන cost different. Right? දැන් හිතන්නකෝ internal plastering කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ ගෙයි ඇතුළ plaster කරන එක inside of your building. The plastering applied to the inside of your building. External plastering means plastering applied to the external wall faces. That's the external plastering. Right? Then the another scaffolding කියන මොකද කියලා? පලංචි කියලා අපි කියන සිංහලෙන්. Right? It's scaffolding. When we are applying plastering into the walls in the general